A new horror film will be hitting select theaters next week, and one of the cities it will be debuting in is here in Rochester.
That is because the movie was not shot here entirely. Wait, it was or was not?
It was.
But it was also edited in the Flower City. We'll find out. Was it shot here entirely? Let's ask Ashley Dorsbacher.
It's Monday. I forgot the word only. Not only shot here entirely, but also edited. Sorry about that, Jen. As you're reading, I was like, oh, Monday brain. You know how it goes. No, but shot here, edited here. Tom, Rochester, you talked a little bit about why you did it here. Obviously, there is the story about the suspect, who they think is who the suspect is. But why Rochester again? What was it like filming here?
Well, it's always been great. This is the 5th project I've done here. I've done 4 films and a TV series for Amazon. And every time, everybody's been fantastic as far as the crew and the locals that we bring in, and just the community in general. The Film Commission's been helpful, and many times on the films as well. So, you know, they've always welcomed us, which is fantastic.
Yeah, no, I was reading a little bit about you, and the name that stuck out, and I kind of geeked out over it. I said, you've worked with a lot of folks, including Betty White. What is it like? I mean, you spend your time between here and LA. What is that like for you?
Well, it's a lot of flying. Yeah. You know, I'm in a plane a lot. Thankfully, there's a direct flight from Buffalo, but yeah, I think I did 15 times back and forth last year and 16 a couple of years ago. But yeah, there was 2 questions. Betty White was fantastic. I danced with her in the movie Love and Dancing. I was the lead role opposite Amy Smart, and Billy Zane was there. And yeah, Betty, I got to dance with her, and it was kind of a highlight of my career, just dancing with her. And yeah, I mean, dipping her, it was great. Yeah.
You are a trained dancer as well, I learned.
Yes, I used to teach ballroom dancing, and the key I think with Betty was that when I dipped her so gingerly because I didn't want to be known as the guy that killed Betty White.
You can't do that.
You could win the Nobel Peace Prize and you'd still be known as the jerk that killed Betty White. Yes. And so I just, I dipped her like very, very lightly. She was great. Yeah.
Betty and all of us appreciate that for saving Betty. Thank you. Yeah. But the film, talk a little bit about what folks can expect with this most recent film, Screamers.
Yeah, well, what's great about the film is that it's a found footage horror, and we tried to take found footage to a whole new level. It's not the shaky camera found footage of the Blair Witch, so that's good. That's the first thing. The second thing is it's so believable. Some of the critics that have seen it and gone nuts for it, I love it because, I mean, you could watch this film for the first 45 minutes and think it's a real documentary. It looks that real, and besides myself, the other performers are so fantastic, and they're all, we wanted to get people that were unknown faces, and they were all, Yale-trained, New York City, huge drama people, and they all just played their parts so well. I mean, we improvised a ton of the dialogue. We used real people when we could. We brought them in. I'd love to mention CGI Communications, Bob Bartosowitz, who was gracious enough to lend us his offices. We actually shot there in CGI because we needed an internet company, and he's a friend of mine from a while back. And I talked to him about this, and he said, yeah, you can shoot in here. It was great. We gave him a co-executive producer credit, so really helpful. Fantastic. And that's another example of the community coming to support us.
Yeah, well, it's always exciting when a film crew comes to town. So we are going to be talking more with Tom and also with Sully over there about what it was like to edit a horror film. Your first horror film, right? His first one. So we're going to be talking with Sully over here coming up next, you guys.
Okay. I want to be scared at some point this morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you want to, so we want a sneak peek of it, right?
I guess someone's going to rat on me out of my Monday brain. I feel her pain. I know how that goes.
Yeah.
Let's get that brain churned up and answer our question of the day. We asked it earlier on 13 Wham. The buttons on men's shirts, they're most often on the right. The buttons on women's shirts are most often on the left. Why, Alexis?
It's because most people are right-handed, and when buttons were invented in the 13th century, they were expensive and only women with money had them. They were dressed by servants, and it was easier for the servants to button the women standing across from them.
Oh.
Interesting. And that never changed.
Huh.
Because certainly servants are not dressing us.
I know. I'm thinking, it's not a part of my... No.
No, not the plan.
I'm just trying to zip up every morning.
That's not my...
Just comedy, not horror. It's comedy.
That is.
Especially after shoulder surgery. It's interesting.